Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a third episode of The Shift. Um, I'll be your host today, Chase Canali. Just be going solo today. We weren't able to record last week. A few things came up, so we're back this week for another episode, and I'm excited to talk some baseball with you guys. Um, we'll start off in the NL East, as usual. So we'll get going on some topics here. I'm just going to breeze through every division, kind of talk about who's hot, who's not, who needs to get it going. So we got the Braves, no surprise, top of the division. They just seem to not be phased by anything whatsoever. This is their division to lose. You know, they came for it last year. They got all these guys coming up. They just keep producing. They go 5-1 versus the Marlins and the Orioles this week. Definitely not two teams that are easy teams to get a series win on, especially the Orioles who are performing the way they are. But they got it done, man. 5-1. They swept the Marlins, won 2 out of 3 from the O's, so that's not easy to do. They had some late heroics by Pilar and Harris coming through big for them. Ozuna's starting to get hot after those early year struggles. He has 4 home runs this week. Murphy's got 3 home runs. He's been crazy, another crazy Braves pickup. What else can you say about this Braves team, the GM and the moves they're making, the deals they're getting these guys to sign? They already had a great catcher in Darno. People were confused. Why are they getting another catcher? Now they got 2 great catchers. Well, Darno's hurt. It's a little thing called depth, and it's paying off for the Braves. So Murphy had another 3 home runs this week. Olson's got 10 home runs on the year. Yeah, I mean, Murphy, what do you have? Murphy had 9 hits, 12 RBIs. Olson had 10 runs scored. Rosario and Acuna, 16 hits combined. Acuna's making an MVP case. I mean, he's batting 338, 15 stolen bases already. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he's on pace for a 30-30 year, so he's probably the front runner in the MVP polls right now. Albie's starting to get it going. 13 hits, 5 doubles. Little monster. That's one of my favorite second basemen in the league. They got 4 guys in that lineup with 20 plus RBIs. Can't say that about a lot of teams. As far as the rotation goes, they got some names. They got Freed. They got Morton. They got some guys that you've heard of. Strider's been phenomenal. He went another 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 10 Ks. They got his ERA down to 2.7. Leads the league in strikeouts, and he's averaging about 15.1 per nine. So a month into the season, that's pretty incredible. And then Elder's been the ace. Not a guy you would expect with all those names. You wouldn't expect a guy like Bryce Elder to step in there and get the job done, but he's been getting it done. 12.1 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 7 hits. Got his ERA down to 1.74. That's good for third in baseball. So that's not a name you normally expect to be up there on that list. And as usual, Braves striking out a lot, but second most home runs in baseball behind the Rays. So that's a good formula. You got the Mets in second place, pretty distant second place, I should say. I can say that because they're my own team, and we've been playing very poorly as of late. Lose one, we go 1-5, lose 5 of 6 to the Rockies and the Tigers. Definitely not great teams. Scherzer gets rocked in his first start back from the suspension. That's not good to see. He says he's all right. He said he's battling through some soreness, that he's just trying to not he's playing a little bit hurt, but he's just trying to fight through it and not land himself in the IL, which I appreciate. And I would assume Scherzer knows his body more than others. So if he thinks he can get through it and he's progressing, then we'll see how it goes. Verlander comes back. That was the one bright side of the Mets week, but we could not get the win because he gave up 2 home runs in the first inning, did not allow any more runs through 5 innings pitched, but the Mets were unable to score because of a little guy named Erod, and we'll get to him later. Senga did get the 1 win for the Mets. I was at that game, and of course we only scored 1 run off a Nimmo home run. Nimmo had a double that game, a sliding catch, but it was enough to get the win. The bullpen was shut down. The bullpen did 4 innings shutty, or 3 innings shutty because Senga went 6. No earned runs, 2 hits, lowers his ERA to 3.38, 10 plus Ks per 9. That's good to see. That should be Senga's best start of the year, and hopefully he can be a good guy to be consistent for us in that second or third spot in the rotation. Um, Mets are struggling mostly because of their pitching. Their hitting hasn't been great either, but they do have the second worst rotation in MLB WAR-wise. They've allowed the third most home runs in baseball, so the long ball is hurting the Mets a lot this year. Not something you normally see from the Mets. Their pitching staff last year was incredible. The numbers, it was hard to replicate, but at least they're not even close. So bats got to pick it up. Pitchers got to pick it up. Beatty and Alvarez are starting to get it done. The young guys, maybe Vientos and Beatty slash who else? Mauricio. They're thinking about calling those guys up. So we'll see what goes on. It's not time to panic just yet, but it is getting a little dicey. Alonso, as usual, still tied for second with home runs, 11, second in or fifth in RBIs, I should say. And Nimmo is one of the only bright spots in this lineup at 310. McNeil's been a little slump recently. Marlins sitting at third, actually tied for second with the Mets. Both a game under 500. Marlins are going 1-for-5 versus the Braves and the Cubs. Not the easiest matchups for the Marlins. We finally got to see a stellar Sandy Alcantara start. He went 8 in the third innings pitched, 9 Ks, 9 hits, 0 walks, 2 earned runs, 113 pitches, and 88 of them strikes. Now that is a Sandy Alcantara start if I've ever seen one. This guy just pitches, he just deals, almost goes complete game while giving up 9 hits and 9 strikeouts. I mean, no walks, throwing all those strikes. This guy is just an old school thrower, man. He just eats innings up, and he'll get the job. Nobody's putting in the innings that Sandy's getting it done. That's why, even though his ERA might not have been the lowest in the NL last year, he did get the Cy Young because it was just a substantially larger amount of innings pitched than the runner-up. So that's good to see. That snaps the 5-game skid, and that game went 14 innings that Sandy pitched. I'm sure he would have loved to go all 14 if he could have. They had Arias and Birdie still getting it done, 16 hits. Arias leads baseball with a 420 batting average. Month into the year, you don't normally see that. People were talking about Arias making a chase for 400, being the first guy in quite a long time to actually have a shot at it. Didn't seem too plausible, but it looks like he is on pace. Not on pace, but looks like he's actually got a shot. Definitely got a shot to win back-to-back batting titles, and winning in both leagues is definitely something to be proud of. Definitely not an easy accomplishment. They did have Cooper come to the IO, so that's going to hurt the lineup a little bit. But Marlins are fighting. Phillies 1-5. Jesus, this NL East had a rough three teams 1-5. That's a rough week for them. Phillies definitely no easy opponents. Red Sox and Dodgers, so I'll cut them some slack. Both really hot teams coming into town. Harper came back, so that was a big boost for the Phillies. I know I saw crowd was going crazy there in Philadelphia, especially after that home run. Fastest recovery time ever after Tommy John. Obviously, he's not a pitcher, so it's not as big of a deal, but it still is something to look and be proud of. And right off the bat, he had over that first game, 7 hits on the week. It was like he never left. Taiwan goes 6 innings, 1 earned. That's good to see. And the Phillies, man, they can hit. They got 4 guys in the batting average over 300, 4th best team average. But besides Matt Strom, that rotation has not been getting it done. They had 10 plus runs given up in all 3 of those Dodger games. There's no way you're going to win with numbers like that. So that's tough to see. Hopefully they can get it figured out. Just kidding. I hate the Phillies. But then we got the Nationals in last place. But don't sleep on the Nats. They're coming. They're only a game or 2 behind the Phillies. Let me check. Yeah, they're a game behind the Phillies. 2 games behind the Mets. So couldn't have second place Nationals before you know it. They're playing good ball. They had the second best record this week in the NL East. They went 4-3 versus the Diamondbacks and the Cubs. Also, no easy opponents. Irvin, solid debut, and tonight he had a great outing. The Ness's 3-run home run down 2 in the 9th to win it. Gore, another 2 earned runs over 6 with 9 Ks. He's got 11.7 Ks per nine with a 3.5 ERA. Corbin finally starting to get it figured out. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. Josiah Graves looked great this year in his sophomore year. He's got a 3 ERA. Lane Thomas, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs on the week. And Luis Garcia, really, that's a name that a lot of people know. 11 hits, 3 doubles. He's getting it done in that lineup. So good for the Nationals. I'm happy to see that. A lot of people were sleeping on the Nationals this year. I looked at their team and I was telling people they had a good team. A lot of guys were laughing at me, so it's good to see. NL Central, Pirates. Man, we are talking about them a lot the first couple weeks. We knew they were going to come back down to earth eventually. 0-6. They just beat the Jays. No, they're still Jays race 7-game skid. Yeah, they got that 7-game skid going still. No easy opponents. I'm going to cut them some slack. They had the Rays and the Jays, arguably two of the best teams. Not even arguably, two of the best teams in baseball for sure. So, not time to fully say the ship has sailed, but Pirates got to show me something this week. Vince Velasquez hits the IL. That's a little bit of a downer for that rotation. He was pitching really well. But Keller continues his dominance, 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 8 Ks. He's at a 2.7 ERA on the year, 10 plus Ks per nine. So that's their ace. He's really proven that to earn that one spot in that rotation. Reynolds, 4 doubles following the big extension. Bednar, 9 saves, tied for third in baseball. Bay, he's third in stolen bases. He's getting it done. Surprisingly, you would never expect that the Pirates would be leading the majors in steals with 48, but that is something they can be happy about and build upon. Coming in at second place, you got the Brewers sitting at 20-15. They're staying afloat. They went 1-5 versus the Giants and Rockies. Not a great week for them. Howes, Burns, Lauer, they're starting to get it going with some quality starts. Peralta, 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 10 Ks. I was big on him having a bounce back year this season. He's got a 3.3 earned run average, 10.2 Ks per nine. Tellez continues to match. He's got 9 home runs on the year. Old man Miley getting it done with a 2.31 earned run average, and Burns finally starting to figure out getting that ERA under 4. Cubs coming in at third. They're 3-4. They had the Marlins and Nats this week. Wisniewski's really been proving something. He had 12 innings pitched over 2 starts, 2 earned runs and 1 walk. Smiley, the old vet, getting a 3.05 ERA. That'll be good for them. Steele, impressive. I will be the first to admit I was wrong on Steele. He had 7 innings pitched and 1 earned run. He's got his ERA down to 1.45, second in baseball. Stroman leads the MLB with 7 quality starts and a 2.28 ERA. Happ, 8 hits, 2 home runs. Bellinger, 9 hits, 4 doubles, 5 stolen bases, 921 OPS. Horner and Happ both batting over 300. Wisdom, second in home runs with 11. Horner, third in hits and 4th in stolen bases. He's finally starting to turn into that guy we all thought he would be. And overall, Cubs pitching staff's been getting it done. 3rd best in team ERA and their lineup, 4th in hits in baseball. So I don't know about these Cubs, man. They could be there at the end of the year, but they also might fall out. Reds, 2-4 versus the Padres and White Sox. You normally think about the Reds in 5th, but there is a team doing worse than them this year. Ashcraft, Lodolo, Green, exciting guys to have in that rotation, but they are struggling. When they are right, they're really good guys to go and see, but they have some command issues, and they just have a couple games where they're really getting hit up. But overall, Green and Lodolo, 12 plus Ks per nine. Friedel's really the only guy in that lineup getting it done. He's got 8 hits, 5 RBIs, batting .319. And then, of course, you got Jonathan India. You know what to expect from him. 9 hits, 2 home runs, .306 average. So he's the anchor of that infield right there. Cardinals. What is going on? What is going on with the Cardinals, man? We keep waiting for them to turn it on, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. They're 1-5 versus the Tigers and the Angels. They just ended an 8-game skid. Montgomery's the only guy in that rotation really getting it done. Matt's had a solid start. Goldie had the 3 home run day. He put an end to that skid. 10 hits, 4 doubles, 6 RBIs. He's got 312 average on the year, 964 OPS, and 14 doubles. Sometimes you just need one of your superstars to step up, and he said enough is enough. Newbar, 10 for 24. And O'Neill to the IL. That one hurts. But that's not all there is to talk about for the Cardinals. I do think they need a serious manager change. Ali Marmol has been in the news way too often this year, and the way this team's playing, the lack of leadership, I think that they need something like what the Phillies did last year to spark them. Contreras, they signed Contreras to this big deal in the offseason, and he's now playing the outfield or playing the DH. No one really knows. It seems like a big shit show, really. Maybe I don't know if they're panicking or Marmol's trying to blame other guys, but you don't sign a guy to a big 5-year deal to be your starting catcher and then throw him in the outfield a month into the year. So we'll see. I don't know how that's all going to end up for the Cardinals. Very strange for an organization that is normally super put together and classy and consistent. So I hope they can figure it out, or at least get out of the dumpster here. Into the NL West, Dodgers. We're all waiting for the Dodgers to finally kick it into gear. We're saying they had a slow April. Are they the Dodgers? Well, before you know it, they are sitting at the top of the West, 21-15, and they had a 5-2 week versus the Phillies and Padres. Definitely no easy opponents. Padres took them out in the playoffs last year, and then the Phillies were the team that took out the Padres later on. So that's impressive. 36 runs in 3 games to sweep the Phillies. Talk about a offensive explosion. I don't know if that's more impressive or it's least impressive on the Phillies pitching staff there. But Mookie had that game-tying home run in that electric Padres series. I do have the Padres jersey on, even though they eliminated us last year. I had to rep my boy Machado. And, yeah, Mookie had that big home run in the 9th. They went on to win it in extras. Muncy, walk-off grand slam, leads the league with 12 home runs, 5th in RBIs with 29. Arias, man, continues to shove it. 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts, and another 2 earned run performance to go along with that later in the week. May, 6 innings pitched, no earned runs, 0.94 whip, 2.68 ERA. Kershaw, 2.53 ERA, 10.1 Ks per 9. This guy's like 50 years old, still getting it done, man. It's a pleasure to watch him pitch. Outman, 8 home runs, 937 OPS, making the Rookie of the Year bid. Betts, 8 hits, 8 RBIs. That's no surprise. Freeman, 8 hits, 4 doubles, batted 300. No surprise there. And Dodgers are tied for second in the league with home runs, 4th in RBIs. They got a good roster. There's no reason to be panicking on the Dodgers. I think they'll be just fine. They are the Dodgers indeed. Especially if they got guys like Vargas and Outman and these youngsters coming up, getting it done. Diamondbacks still sit second in the West, 20-15. They have a 3-2 week versus the Nationals and the Rangers. Walker had a 2 home run day, 9 homers on the year. Kelly, another good performance, 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 10 Ks, 2.75 ERA. They had a walk that week. Gallen, 2.36 ERA, 0.85 whip, 11.6 Ks per 9. He's absolutely filthy this year. Carroll and Gurriel both batting above 300. And they got the second best team average, 272. You didn't expect that coming into the year. Diamondbacks second in baseball in team average, and they are third in team hits. So look out for that. Padres, they're creeping up. They had a 3-3, nice little 3-3 week. They got their business done. They took 2 out of 3 from the Reds, and then they accidentally lost 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers, which they should have won. Tatis had a 2 home run day, 9 for 28. How's that for coming back? Musgrove, 5 innings pitched, no earned runs, 2 hits. Lugo, another great performance, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Waka, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs. Darvish, Martinez, Lugo, all under 3.21 ERAs. Soto, 6 RBIs. Hader, 11 saves, second in baseball. So it's good to see that rotation is really starting to kick it in. If that rotation can go and you see this lineup starting to go, I think think Padres are about to explode. Um, Giants impressive 4-2 week versus the Brewers and the Stros. Wow, I didn't see that coming. Crawford to the IL, but Yaz and Wood either return, so Giants could be getting some reinforcements. Disco went 8 innings pitched, 3 hits, no walks, 0 earned runs, 2.8 ERA, shoving it. Webb starting to get it done, 7.2 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. Cobb got it done, 7 innings pitched, no earned runs. Almost has that ERA down to 2, just a solid 2. It's at 2.01 right now. Come on, baby, give me that. Estrada, 8 for 23, 344 average, third in baseball. Who would have thought Tyro Estrada would be batting third baseball month into the year? Third in team home runs. That's another character thing the Giants always seem to have. Rockies had the best record in the West this week. Wasn't expecting that. Unfortunately, they did take 2 out of 3 from my Mets, and they swept the Brewers. So they went 5-1 versus the Brewers and Mets. Not an easy task. Feltner and Gomber pitched solid. Freeland, 5 innings, no earned runs. Senzatella, 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned in his season debut. Ezekiel Tovar keeps getting it done, 8 hits, 7 ribbies. Bryant's getting it done, finally earning that contract, batting 306. Elias Diaz, catcher of the Colorado Rockies, Elias Diaz, batting 333, 5th in baseball. I knew he had some pop. I like this guy in fantasy, but I did not expect him coming in with a 333 average. And then the bad news out of the camp, German Marquez out for the year. That's rough. But it's not 30 years, so, it doesn't really matter that much. But I guess that's maybe a guy you would have came to the ballpark to see. But they get Senzatella back. He looks good. All right, now we're going to switch over to the AL. That's it for the NL. We're going to switch over to the AL. We'll start in the East Coast bias. Rays, man. I might as well just wear the Rays jersey every week. I don't know what there is to say about the Rays that hasn't been said, man. People keep trying to write them off, trying to make excuses. No, the Rays will Ray. 5-1 week. Take down the Pirates. Take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. Paredes with the walk-off single in the 10th to complete a 6-run comeback against Garrett Cole. They were down 6-0, came back, won it versus the Yanks. They went 2 bullpen games. I mean, the Rays invented bullpen games, no surprise. Rasmussen, 5.2, 2 hits, shutty, 3.11 ERA on the year. Eflin, man, why did we all know they were going to turn Eflin into a stud? The second that he signed that deal, we smelt it. We were like, oh, this smells like another Rays cooking session. They're about to whip him into one of the best starters in baseball. Well, here he is, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 10 Ks, no earned runs, 2.25 earned run average, sub-1 whip. All right? So, yeah, we were all right. Big whoop, no surprises. McClanahan, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 9 Ks, 7-0, leads the league in wins. Got a 1.7 ERA. That's 4th in bigs, 11.3 Ks per 9. He's making a Cy Young bid, no big deal. That whole rotation can make a Cy Young bid. Springs was making one. Rasmussen's making one. First in average, first in ERA, first in RBIs, first in home runs. These are all team stats. The Rays lead the league in almost everything. They're second in hits. I mean, come on. Franco's batting 307 with a 904 OPS and 14 doubles. Harold Ramirez, Josh Lowe, they're just picking guys. They're just taking guys and putting them into roles, and they're doing it. Rosie's got a 400 on base, 988 OPS, 328 average, 9 bombs, 30 RBIs. It's 4th in baseball. Glasnow, they're about to get Glasnow back. He's making a 2nd or 3rd rehab start. Wander's pipping ground balls, for goodness sake. They don't care. They're too good. They don't care. All right? Jesus, I don't even want them. It's incredible, man. The Orioles are sitting here in the AL East. They're 22-13. All right? 22-13. They would be in first place in every division in baseball besides the AL East and the NL East because of the Braves. All right? They had a 3-3 week versus the Royals and Braves. Not great, but not terrible. Matt Castle, 2 home runs, 8 hits, 4 doubles, 8 homers, 26 RBIs. Santander, 2 homers, 5 RBI game, 12 hits, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs on the week. Those are weak stats right there. All right. Wells keeps getting it done, 3.15 ERA. Creamer got 11 innings pitched, 2 earned runs this week. Mullins, 28 RBIs, 11 stolen bases on the year. Mateo, 302 batting average, 12 stolen bases on the year. Hayes batting 300. And that rotation's been staying afloat, but man, if they can get John Means back in that rotation, you remember how John Means was pitching a couple years ago? Man, I mean, I think a lot of you guys forget John Means really has ace stuff. He can come back and be the same John Means he was, so that would be big for that rotation. It's a good guy to pick up in fantasy if you have him. Just keep him on the IL. Blue Jays, again, Blue Jays third place. They're 7 games over 500. Are you kidding me? Blue Jays 3-4 versus the Pirates and the Red Sox. Bassett, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned. Kikuchi, 6 1/3 scoreless. Barrios, 6 1/3, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks. Gossman's got 12.4 Ks per 9 on the year. I mean, Varsho, 11 hits, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. Talk about a win-win. Moreno's been doing it. Varsho's been doing it. Bichette, 11 hits, 7 runs. He's got 7 home runs on the year. Leads the MLB in hits. This is the Bichette we want to see. Vladdy, 8 hits, 2 home runs, 318 average, 920 OPS. Matt Chapman's cooled off, but he's still batting 350 with a 1 OPS and 17 doubles. Holy shnikes. Red Sox, 4th place, but they had a 6-1 week versus the Blue Jays and Phillies. We were just talking about the Red Sox, and they're 6 games over 500. The Red Sox. Are you kidding me? 4th place. They'd be leading. They'd be in the first in the and I know they'd be first in the AL Central. I don't know about the other divisions, but man, there's the Blue Jays and the Phillies too. Not easy opponents. But the Red Sox are one of those teams, man. When they get hot, they can just hit and hit and hit and hit. If they get decent pitching or even like bad pitch, as long as their pitching isn't god awful, they can win games. They can give up 7 runs and still win a game. Not a lot of teams can say that. Verdugo with the walk-off home run. 307 average, 10 doubles. Juan with a 2 home run game. Red Sox put up an 8-game win streak this week. Pivetta, Bello, Kluber, solid starts. Salem finally getting it done. It's great to see. If he can get it going, man, this Red Sox team can go. 6 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts for Salem. Yoshida, 10 hits, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. He silenced the critics. Is he going to be that guy at WBC, blah, blah, blah? Yeah, he's him. 24 RBIs in the year, 321 average, 939 OPS. Man, oh man. Like they needed another bat. Devers, 8 hits, 7 RBIs, 11 home runs. That's second in baseball. And then he's got Jaron Duran hitting in the lineup in the back. I mean, they're third in team RBIs, third in team average. And they're about to get Story back. I mean, Story's going to be back any week, any day now, and hopefully they get Adam Duvall back. They just announced that he won't be getting surgery, so they're hopeful on him. Yankees go 3-3 versus the Rays and the Guardians. Your last place Yankees. How many times have we got to say that? Ever. 5 out of the 6 games were 1-run games, so it was a weird week for the Yanks. It could have went either way, but when you got a lot of those 1-run games, the result came until you'd expect 3-3. And even the one game that wasn't a 1-run game, it was only like 2. It was they lost by 2 runs. Judge to the IL. That's a huge blow for them. Hopefully he's back soon. Trevino with a big walk-off. German, besides Cole, German's really been stepping it up in that rotation. 8 1/3 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 2 hits, and 5 innings. 2 earned and another start. But, man, that first start almost won a complete game. Ended up leaving him in there too long, and it burnt him a little bit. Cole's still getting it done. He's got a 2.09 ERA, 10-plus Ks per 9. Bader came back. He's got 7 hits, 7 RBIs. DJ LeMahieu, 9 for 23. And Rizzo's been getting it done, 292 average with 6 home runs. Now we'll move over to the Central. Twins still at the top of that Central with its 19-16 record. They went 2-4 versus the White Sox and the Guardians. Joe Ryan's been getting it done. 12 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 11 Ks. He's got a 2.5 ERA and a .84 WHIP. Ober comes in, fills in for one of their guys. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs. Boom. Talk about stepping up to the plate. Lopez, 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. 8 Ks, 11.3 Ks per 9. What a big offseason acquisition that was for them. I mean, this Twins rotation has just been phenomenal. They're second in baseball in team ERA. We didn't expect them to be in that spot. We knew they improved, but we didn't expect them to be in that spot. Sonny Gray leads baseball with a 1.35 ERA. Are you kidding me? 10.6 per nine. He's just been filthy, absolutely filthy. Buxton 8 home runs, and Kyle Farmer, he's eyeing his return as well. Lorenzen on the Tigers get their big wins this week. They move up to the second place in the AL Central. They sweep my Mets, which isn't the greatest feeling, but when a team's hot, they're hot, and we're obviously cold as ice. So Lorenzen shut us down. He had 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, and an earned run. Erod, 8 innings pitched, 2 hits, 9 Ks, 0 earned runs. 1.8 ERA, 7.8 WHIP. Erod is making a Cy Young case. He is absolutely insane. People forgot about him. He might come back down to earth a little bit, but these numbers he's putting up is ridiculous. 2-hitter versus the Mets in 8 innings, and he just keeps doing it, man. He's going deep into games. Torkos and Ibanez combined for 17 hits and 6 doubles. Baez, 3 home runs this week. He's just been going off, as well as the Tigers since they benched him. And then Haas and Riley Green each had 11 hits, 7 RBIs. Haas had a big day in that doubleheader with 2 home runs. We got the Guardians sitting at third place, 3-3 week versus the Twins and Yanks. Nothing to be too upset about. The youngsters, Allen and Bibby, getting those quality starts in the rotation. Hopefully they'll have Savali and McKenzie coming back within the next week or two, and they won't have to. They'll have a little more depth in that rotation, but they've been filling in nicely. Bieber, 8 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, sub-3 ERA. That's what you'd expect from him. That and Field, another young guy getting it done. 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks. Boom. Quantrill had 2 good starts this week. 14 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 earned runs. No into the 8th inning. So that's good to see. They just need to get those bats woken up, man. Guardians, are struggling at the plate. White Sox 4-2 versus the Twins and the Royals. We're calling for the White Sox to get it going. A lot of people said their season might be dead, that they're a disgrace. We had diehard fans making 30-minute rants. They responded a little bit. Twins, Royals, 4-2. Can't complain about that. They had an 11-run inning in the second inning. In one of those games, they had Kopech had another good start. Giolito, 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks. Or 1 earned run, 2 hits, 7 Ks. Eloy had a 2-homer week. Alberto had 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. Luis Robert, 11 for 22, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. Yeesh, that's a 500 average. Berger lands on the IL. That's not good to hear. He was doing great for that lineup. And biggest storyline for the White Sox this week: Liam Hendriks, cancer-free. Hopefully on his way back to the game soon. That's great to hear, man. I'm just really happy. He's a really good guy to have in the game, and just beautiful soul, really electric character, and hopefully he's back on that mound soon. Royals 2-4 versus the A's and the Orioles. Not a lot to talk about here. Greinke goes 5 scoreless. He's still getting it done. Pasquantino, Prado, 16 hits combined, 7 doubles, 14 ribbies. Melendez and Witt, 18 hits combined, 11 ribbies, 4 homers. And then El Capitan, Salvador Perez, 10 hits, 4 homers, 7 RBIs. Are you kidding me? 291, 7 home runs in the year. This guy does not age. We'll move to the AL West last but not least. Top of that division, we have the Rangers still holding it together with a 21-13 record. They went 3-2 versus the Diamondbacks and the Angels. So that's good to see. Eovaldi with 8 innings pitched scoreless. That is impressive. He normally gives you a good start, but you don't normally see 8 innings scoreless. So that could be someone to keep an eye on. Dane Dunning, 5 scoreless. DeGrom back to the IL. Oh, that's the last thing the Rangers needed. Perez, Gray, Eovaldi, all ERAs under 4. They're getting it done. Duran and Heim, 17 hits combined. Didn't mean to rhyme that, but when you got Heim, you got to rhyme. Tavares, Simeon, each 10 hits, 5 RBIs. Man, these guys are going off. Seager's coming back. That's good to see, man. And once Seager comes back, this lineup's going to be mashing even more. Hopefully they can hold it together and at least get a wild card spot, but it's going to be tough with that AL East. It looks like I don't know if anyone's making it out of any other. I think the wild card is staying in the East, so um, that division's going to be a dogfight. Angels go 4-2. They're sitting at second place with a 20-16 record. That's impressive. We all really root for the Angels for the most part this year. 4-2 versus the Cardinals and the Rangers. Otani, 13 strikeouts in 5 innings. Are you kidding me? It's 15 outs. 13 of them were strikeouts. That means 13 guys got sent into the dugout, and the other 2 guys did something. I don't know. Jesus Christ. Um, 13.6 Ks per 9 is what he's averaging. 0.87 whip, 2.5 ERA, and he's got 7 home runs and he's batting 301. So yeah, that speaks for itself. That's an easy MVP winner right there. Sandoval getting it done, 3.4 ERA. Anderson, another good start. Anthony Rendon, Tony, 9 homers on the year, 24 RBIs. Or no, I'm sorry. Rendon, 9 hits this week, 7 RBIs. Ward stays hot, 11 hits. Renfro's got 9 homers, 24 RBIs on the year. Mike Trout, you didn't think I'd forget about him. 8 homers, 919 OPS. He does that in his sleep. So Urshela's batting 303 as well. So that lineup is no problem. They just gotta make sure that pitching staff can hold it together. Mariners sitting at third in the West, 5-1 versus the Astros and A's. Impressive week from the Mariners. They had that meet the Millers game or we're the Millers game versus the A's, but the Miller on the Mariners put up 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 10 Ks in his debut. And to boot, he had another star later in the week, 6 innings pitched, no earned runs, again, 5 Ks. So he's going to be someone to look out. Man, they're just pulling guys out of the woodworks here. They're pulling Kirby out. They're pulling Miller out. They just got prospects sitting there, and they're just absolute studs. Gilbert and Kirby and Gonzalez, all solid starts. Mariners had that big game. They had that 7-run 8th inning. They were down 5 to beat the Astros. That was impressive. Normally the Astros are the teams doing stuff like that, not getting that done to them. Kirby with the 3.1 ERA, 9.8 whip. Castillo 2.38 ERA, 9.1 whip. Gilbert's got 11.2 Ks per 9. Kelenic 7 home runs, 288 average. So this team, they're making a bid. But like I said, they might have to win that division just to get in. It's going to be tough this year with that AL East. And big news on bad news, but also big for the Mariners is Robbie Ray out for the year. Former Cy Young Robbie Ray. So that's tough. But, if Miller keeps pitching like he is, he might be even better than Ray. So Astros, 4th place in the division. Yikes. 2-4 versus the Mariners and Giants. JP France went 5 shutty in his debut. That's good to see. Javier and Valdez each had 8 Ks, solid starts. Javier and Hunter Brown both got 9+ Ks per 9 and a sub 3.6 ERA on the year. So that staff, even though they just lost Luis Garcia for the year, yikes. Hopefully that staff can survive. That's a big guy they're going to lose for the year. That's even though he hasn't been great this year, that's a guy that can really get it going and really help a team win games. He'll give you a solid outing just about every time he's out there. But yeah, Javier, Valdez, Brown, they're all starting to figure it out. Framber's got a 2.6 ERA on the year. And they should be getting some help. McCullers looks like he's about to return. Urquidy should be back by the All-Star break, so we're going to have to wait a little on that. But McCullers will be back. That's another guy that could get this staff going. And also Brantley. Brantley looks like he's about to come back within the next week or so. So you get Brantley back in the lineup. You get Altuve should be back soon. And then you get Urquidy hopefully at the All-Star break. They should have some pieces there to get it done. Jordan, 8 hits, 3 doubles, 5 RBIs, 32 on the year, and he's got a 936 OPS. I mean, this guy just mashes. Kyle Tucker's been solid for them. It's going to be tough, though, with that Ranger team, that Mariners team, that Angel team. This might not be the same AL West we're used to. These teams might be for real this year, so we'll see. It's still early, but they're looking good so far. And then sitting in last, worst record in baseball, you got the Oakland A's, or soon to be Vegas A's. But Not much to talk about here. They got Brent Rooker still getting it done. 10 homers, 26 RBIs, batting 319, and he's got a 1.12 OPS. Are you for real? I mean, I know a lot of guys aren't tuning in to A's games, but man, I mean, he's going to have a nice highlight reel at the end of this year. Where did this guy come from? You knew there would be one guy on the A's that was doing this type of stuff, but so it's interesting to see. But yeah, he could be an interesting piece at the All-Star break. I don't know why they'd keep around. Teams might really be interested in him if he keeps this up, especially for a team like the Mets that needs a power bat. And another guy that's really been electric on that team that's been stealing headlines is Esteury Ruiz, man. An 11-hit week, 4 doubles, 5 RBIs, and he leads the league in stolen bases with 17. 17 through 1 month, he's on pace to have, 70, 80 stolen bases, which wouldn't be a surprise with these new rules that they've incorporated in the game, making it a lot easier for guys to take these bases just because of the bigger bags and the pickoff rules and all that stuff. So that about wraps it up for this week's episode of The Shift. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again next week. Go Mets.